everyone get fired up for this one and make sure that all your friends share in a very special celebration. So let's get this party started. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We got a very abbreviated show this evening.
We do. We're getting to that point of the year. Sports starting to wind things up and come to a close, so shows becoming shorter and shorter. So let's get right to it. Boys hockey team wrapped up its regular season with 3 games last week, including 2 against top 10 teams in the state. On Tuesday night, the Cardinals traveled to Andover to take on the 4th-ranked Huskies. Andover was undefeated in the first 17 games this season. They had just 2 losses, both to top 5 teams, and they were scoring more than 5 goals per game. Huskies dominate from the drop of the puck. Charlie Shane dangling in deep and finding Nick Dainty at the back door to start the scoring. Andover outshot the Cardinals 25-5 in the first period. Dainty again, this time shooting back against the grain for a shorthanded goal. Dainty had a hat trick before the first period was over. His third comes on a power play one-timer. That gave the Huskies a 5-0 lead at the first intermission. Cardinals were only able to find the back of the net once against Andover. Tommy Carls cutting across top of the circle, twists the wrister back to the far side. Tommy's team leading 23rd of the season, but it was just a brief respite from the shelling at the other end. Huskies outshot the Cardinals 60-10 and ran away with an 11-1 win.
Well, Thursday's game against Anoka was supposed to be the regular season finale. It paired 2 teams battling for the 5th seed in the section tournament. They had similar records with Coon Rapids, holding the slight advantage in that department. So this was expected to be a tight game to the finish. It was Valentine's Day and it was senior night for the Cardinals, a special evening for 8 players finishing their high school careers and their families. But it's Anoka that gets the quick start. That's Alex Heinrich. He got the power play goal. Tornadoes outshot the Cards 12-2 in the first. But it's only 1-0, and the Cards get the equalizer in the second period. Wyatt Ball with a strong shot from the slot. Coon Rapids playing much stronger in the second. Anoka has the answer, though. Less than a minute later, Matt Orr shooting back across his body to score. Glove high side. You can tell Connor Wise was not happy about giving up that one. And his teammates pick him up late in the second. Cardinals on the power play. The pass through the slot to A.J. Carls in the back door with a wide open cage. And this game is tied at 2 after 2. Cards get their first lead 12 seconds into the third period. Sweet stick work from Tommy Carls and sticks on the top shelf. That turned out to be the game winner. Both teams getting chances. Shots were dead even 9-9 in the final frame, but frustrations flare and it leads to a bad penalty for the Tornadoes. Quinn Putt takes the double minor with 4 minutes remaining. That pretty much sealed the deal. Tommy Carls adds an empty netter. 8 seconds left. Cardinals get an important and emotional win. 4-2 was the final. And that was a big win for them, Joe. Obviously, you were there, and I was not. And but that was a big win because obviously it locked up that 5th seed.
It was a fun game, and it was 3-2 when Putt gets the high stick and then the punch afterwards. A minute 4 on the clock. They had just pulled their netminder, trying to make a game of it, and that just made it a little bit easier for the Cardinals to finish. But a fun game, and one that the Cardinals really needed to win, because when you look at the section brackets, the top 3 teams are very, very difficult, all in the top 15 in the state. That's Blaine, number 1, Maple Grove, number 2, right, and number 3 is Chample Park. Let's take a look at the last game of the season. On Friday, they played Maple Grove and lost 11-3. And now we can just go right ahead and get to the Wyatt Ball. A.J. Carls and Tommy Carls each had a goal and an assist in that game, but it was tough to watch. There you see it. Blaine, Maple Grove, and Chample Park, the 1, 2, and 3 seeds, ranked top 10 and top 15, all 3 of them. So the Cardinals will get Centennial in the first round. Cougars beat them pretty badly early in the season, but the best chance to be competitive in the first round as getting that draw against Centennial.
Well, and that was early in the season. Obviously, both teams hopefully to improve as the season goes along. But it's a tough draw nonetheless for the Cardinals, but an opportunity for them to see if they can advance.
They start Thursday night, 8 o'clock at the Ice Forum, and we will have it here on CTN, but it will be the coverage provided by our friends at North Metro. So we will still have the replay here for you at midnight on Thursday night. Wrestling team had section tournament last Friday. They started as the number 3 seed, and they beat St. Francis 48-18. 5 pins plus a 16-0 tech fall for John Spobany as they make easy work of the Saints. But then they faced number 2 Forest Lake, and the Rangers held serve with a 39-24 win. Both Medimba boys getting pins in that one. John Spobany another win, and Zach Thomas got a victory for the Cardinals. Really, there are only 4 victories against Forest Lake, but that's okay. Make it a little easier. Forest Lake went on and upset Anoka and beat the Tornadoes even more handily in the championship. So an upset in the championship in Forest Lake will represent Section 7 3A in the state tournament.
I can't say that I'm totally surprised that the 2 beat the 1, but I am surprised the way that they did so with only 18 points scored by Anoka. You would have thought that would have been a little closer than that, but give Forest Lake the credit. They obviously came away with it, and they're going to state.
Individual section tournaments are Friday, Saturday. This week's state tournament is next week at the XL Energy Center. Gymnastics team competing in its section tournament last Friday as well. Cardinals finished in 8th place, a relatively disappointing finish for a team that did get into the 130s a couple of times this year, but not the score they wanted when it mattered most, but a very tough section. So the top finisher really is Rachel Dieters with a 13th place finish on floor. She was also 20th in the all-around. 21st place, Sarah Hancock was their leader on vault. 31st place, Megan Hetwer was their leader on bars, tied with Aaliyah Vu with a 6.95. Kalia Jones was their top finisher on the beam. Nobody able to advance to state, but a season again that a very young team at the beginning. They had a goal to hit 130. They got there a couple times, just need to work on consistency next year.
Yeah, I'm sure obviously a little disappointing, just the 123.7 in that particular one. But you're right, young squad. They've a lot of things to improve upon. Nordic
ski season came to a close last week with the state tournament up at Giants Ridge in Bewabik, and Abby Ellenbecker finished 51st place in the state championship pursuit. She had a time of 19:09 in the freestyle and a 20.07.5 in the classic, finishing with a total just under 40 minutes. Her 3rd trip to state tournament, and she is just a junior, so she's got one more shot coming up in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, crazy. We talked about last week, and certainly congratulations go out to her, the fact that she's been there 3 times already with an opportunity next year for a 4th. That's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Well, a couple of tough road games for the Cardinals boys basketball team last week, starting with a trip to Centennial on Wednesday to face division rival Centennial. Cougars beat Coon Rapids by almost 20 points the first time around, and they were coming in hungry after back-to-back losses. Cardinals had lost 3 straight, and looking at Centennial as a team they should be able to compete with. Talk about transition play. Check this one out. A big block by Matthew Weifels at one end leads to a breakaway basket for Noah Larson at the other. Centennial establishing tempo early. Cardinals keeping themselves close through the first half. Lucky Morange hits the long distance on the left wing. Unfortunately, his only points of the game. Centennial playing with the lead the whole way, working all the way around the perimeter to find Carter Anderson open look. He led all scorers with 24. Cougars up 32-25 at the half. They start to stretch it early in this section. Jackson Waldvogel all alone for the 3. One of 3 players in double digits for Centennial. Cardinals continue to fight, but never able to quite catch up. Jackson Aurelia is showing good body control for this basket, part of a 12-point effort for him. And senior captain Marshall Holland continues to be on fire, stepping up once again, leads the Cardinals with 23 points, his 5th time with 20 points or more in the last 6 games. Still, they lose 73-58.
Yeah, and another tough loss for the boys basketball squad. And you talk about the fact that they dig themselves some holes, and that's really where they've been having trouble. I mean, you see a nice night by Holland, a nice night by Aurelius. You got the guys who are scoring. The unfortunate thing is that they're getting in that big hole, and it's tough for them to dig out.
Yeah, 5 games over 20 points out of the last 6. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Maple Grove, and actually he kept it going at number 6 right there. 22 points, 6 boards against Maple Grove. But again, in a losing effort, hard to be competitive in this conference when one guy is scoring half of the team's points. And that's exactly what it was. Give the Crimson credit, they shut down the other scorers, and the Cardinals just not able to get it done, losing 78-44. They've got Andover and Totino both at home this week, and on Tuesday when they host the Huskies, Howie,
we'll be there! Is that good enough? Is that right?
I liked it.
Cool. Well, the girls basketball team will wrap up the regular season this week after hosting 3 conference games last week. The Cardinals started the week with a huge 1-point win over Blaine, but their company got a little tougher on Wednesday. The Centennial Cougars are ranked 8th in the state and had won 10 straight games, including a 20-point victory over Coon Rapids in their first meeting. Cardinals playing from behind, but not break down for the Cougars. Strong move to the paint for Lainey Hanneman. She gets the bucket and the foul, but Centennial's defense limited her to just 4 points in the game. Destiny Artist creating some room for herself and hitting the long jump shot. Coon Rapids able to keep it close throughout the first half. Centennial setting the pace, though. Jody Anderson jumping the passing lane, getting herself a breakaway at the other end, lays it up and in, 2 of her 15 in the game. Still, the Cardinals staying within striking distance. Emma Heeman dribbling to the baseline. Great feed to Artist for the 3-pointer. Centennial gets up by the half by a score of 32-21. Move to the second, Taylor McCauley carrying it into the traffic. She misses the shot in close, but is able to get her own rebound and score. Nice job putting it back up and in. Cardinals just couldn't solve the Centennial defense. They couldn't stop McCauley. She led all scorers with 20 points in the game, and the Cougars cruise to the 67-36 win.
Yeah, it's tough when you have a hot shooting team and a hot player like that. Definitely hard to compete. And the road just got tougher on Friday. Maple Grove having a great season, and they cruised past the Cardinals, limiting Coon Rapids to just 26 points in the game on Friday night. Leading scorer, Lainey Hanneman, just 9 points, so nobody into the double digits. There you see it. 3-18 on the year as they look at their final 3 games of the regular season. And that's got to be a tough one, even though Maple Grove's a very strong club, to go in and only have one player with more than 4 points and to only put up 26 points in the game.
Yeah, again, it's a situation where only 60 points in the last 2 games, so they're averaging the last 2 games 30 points a game, and that's something obviously that they're not going to win games when they do that, so it makes it very difficult.
Well, and they close with a trifecta at Andover on Tuesday, back home for their final home game of the season, hosting the Centaurs from Brooklyn Center. And then on Friday, they close out the regular season schedule on the road against the Totino Grays.
Yeah, so they have an opportunity to see what they can do in the next 3 games because that's going to carry over into section play.
Well, we will get to see the boys basketball team on Tuesday night. We're planning to bring you some hockey playoffs, but it's not the way it worked out. We will have those games for you here on CTN. It'll just be brought to you by the folks at North Metro Television. So we've got boys basketball on Tuesday, and then reruns of North Metro's boys hockey playoffs, and then we'll see some girls basketball playoffs next week.
Yeah, good opportunity to see some games, and looking forward to that boys game tomorrow night.
But that is going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Say goodnight.